Hello once again, this is Brian from repairmypcbrian.blogspot.com. You may also reach me at repairmypcbrian@gmail.com. Today I'm going to discuss how to change out a laptop keyboard. Now the reason you might ask, why would I ever need to change out a keyboard? Well, there's a number of reasons why, and one reason is that you could break off one of these keys. These keys pop off really easily and you could lose it. And if that's the case, then you either need to find that key or replace the keyboard. But as far as keyboards are concerned, you spill soda, Coke, beer, whatever, a sticky substance into the keyboard, it might cause an issue with obviously you being able to read or to press the keys properly. Now, the other day I had a Pisario F500. Today I have a Dell Latitude D530. Now, this D530 is going to be a little bit different in how to access the keyboard than most computers. However, I mean, you can pretty much follow this guidelines and adapt to other computers, but this will be, specific to this Latitude D530. However, you can basically take this and apply it to other laptops. So the only thing you're going to need today is two tools. You're going to need a number one Phillips, and this one's a little bit better than the one I used yesterday, which obviously is your 99-cent store Phillips. I went actually out in the garage and grabbed my Matco tool set. And you're also going to need a straight slot screwdriver. So just straight slot doesn't really matter on the size. You just want to be able to fit it into the slot right here. But as far as the Phillips, you're going to want a number one in order to remove the screws that are holding in the keyboard. So first off, what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay back the screen a little bit better here so you can kind of get a little bit better idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert the screwdriver into the slot right here and just kind of pry up a little bit on it. Now, the reason is I don't want to apply too much pressure. I don't want to break the clips, but I do want to just release some of that pressure off the plate. Okay, now once I got one corner up, I'm going to just go ahead and lightly remove it. Now, the reason is you might run into a problem when the screen's up. You won't be able to remove this clip. Now, you can see that it's bowing here. But don't be afraid, just kind of evenly distribute the pressure, work your way down, use your hand because this is going to be your best tool here. If you want, you can use a neoprene like squeegee or something of that nature that won't scratch up the metal. In fact, most people recommend when pulling off these plates not to use anything metal, to actually use plastic. Now there actually is specific tools that you can buy, wedges and stuff like that are plastic. However, I mean, I just prefer to use a screwdriver because this is a how-to and for, obviously household materials being used. Most people have a straight slot and Phillips screwdriver in their home. So once you remove this plate, just go ahead and set it to a side. And you'll notice that the keyboard here has two screws. These two screws you're going to want to remove first. So let's go ahead and just get our screwdriver out and remove these. Ignore my cell phone there. Okay, once these screws are removed. Now you want to be careful. Don't just go ripping the keyboard out after you remove these two screws, and there's a reason why. There's a ribbon behind it attaching it to the logic board. And if you go ahead and remove this really fast and rip it out or happen to break that ribbon, basically your keyboard becomes useless. You want to make sure not to damage it. It's also held in by clips, so you want to kind of bow it up from the center and pull in on the sides to release the two clips on the sides. Now, for this laptop in particular, you just want to pull back towards you. Since the laptop's facing me away, you're going to want to push it away if you're facing your laptop. Now, as you can see here, if I flip it over gently here, you see it looks like there's a cable attached right here. If I come around to the other side, here's the cable. Now, you're going to want to flip it away or back down towards you, depending on which way you're working on the keyboard. Now, there's this little ribbon attachment right here. Where this ribbon attaches to the board, you're going to want to lift up. It's actually not, as you can see, the flap just lifts up here. It doesn't pull out or anything of that nature. So the flap, to lock it, go in the lock position, you press down on it. To actually disengage the position, you would lift up on it. And I'm going to use my fingers to do this because I don't want to damage the ribbon with the screwdriver. Okay. So once you do that, you just want to gently kind of lift and tug on the ribbon. You don't want to put too much pressure on to the ribbon and crease it. So you want to make sure that you're being careful and not creasing this ribbon. Once that's removed, you actually gain access to the logic board here. Now, just to point out some really quick tips, if you're adding RAM on a Dell laptop, a lot of people don't know. They go, I only have one DIMM slot on the other side. Well, actually you don't. You have two, and the other one's located right here behind the keyboard. Now, I know the other day I showed you on the Presario F500 on how to change the NIC, but as far as adding RAM, some laptops will hide the other DIMM slot behind the keyboard. So if you notice, let me discharge here. If you notice, the actual DIMM slot is located behind the keyboard. So if you only have one, you might want to check, obviously, check your specifications for your manufacturer, specifications for your laptop. But you might find that there's another DIMM slot hidden behind the keyboard. Especially on the D-series laptops, this was really kind of something Dell incorporated on all their laptops across all the platform on the D-series. I noticed I believe some E-series also have the same DIMM slot hidden behind the keyboard. So if you wanted to upgrade, this already is a 1 gig chip, so really not going to need to upgrade it. So we'll just go ahead and put it back there. So you can also take a good look here. This would be a great time to clean out your processor fan, which is located right here. If you actually take canned or compressed air and blow through this opening right here, you can actually force the dirt that has been sucked in back out. So you want to go ahead and blow through the openings instead of into the laptop, away from the laptop. If you also need to do, a lot of people will do repairs like replacing their thermal paste on their processor. That's one thing you can do while it's here, since you already have this off. Now you can see here, I was pointing out the other day when replacing a NIC, if you want to go back to the other video, it's actually how to replace a wireless NIC. I was describing the antenna wires that are running into the laptop screen. This is actually where these antenna wires stop. So, I mean, there's a black and a gray one here. You also have your power wire. This is pretty much it as far as replacing the keyboard. In order just to put a new keyboard back in, you would just follow the steps back the same way that you removed them. So you just reverse your steps. So for replacing the keyboard, we just go ahead and put the ribbon back in first. So you'd flip the board down. Now you remember, you want to be gentle with that ribbon. You want to slide the board back down. There's some clips down here, and a lot of people don't notice that those have to be slid into position. So we're going to go ahead and slide those back down. Sometimes they're a little stubborn and you have to give a little push for it. Okay, once it's in, there'll also be clips on the side here if you want to press down and make sure they engage across the keyboard. And you're going to go ahead and replace your 2 screws. Let's get the correct screwdriver here. I don't use a magnetic screwdriver. Some people do for ease of use. However, I usually like to keep all magnets away from electronics, especially hard drives and things of that nature. I don't want to damage them or destroy them. So if you do, make sure you have a non-magnetic tip or demagnetize the tip of the screwdriver. And if you need a question on how to magnetize and demagnetize, I can also post a video on that. And it's just pretty simple elementary school science is how you learned how to magnetize and demagnetize metals. So we just go ahead and snap this back in. Now what we're going to want to do is make sure that there's clips, it goes in one end. So these clips need to be put in first. So you actually want to just reverse it the exact way you took it off. I want to be careful with this part because this is the part that you can break. So once it's in here, and sometimes you need to give it a good push on everywhere to make sure it's evenly engaged. Well, there you go. That's how to replace your laptop keyboard. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and shoot me some comments or also an email at repairmypcbrian, that's B-R-Y-A-N, at gmail.com, or repairmypcbrian, B-R-Y-A-N, .blogspot.com. Thank you very much, and have a good day.